Okay, this is 2.1 homework, and I'm going to do a couple problems from it because I know it's just a little bit tougher type of homework. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk about intervals in which a function is increasing and decreasing, and this is number 1 on homework 2.1. So when you're talking about increasing and decreasing, you're only looking at your x-axis, how it runs from left to right. And remember, this is from negative infinity on the left side to positive infinity on the right side. And so anytime you're talking about increasing, decreasing, and constant, you are only talking about the x-axis. On what part of the x-axis is a function increasing or decreasing or constant? And remember, increasing means that you're going to be rising from left to right. Decreasing means it's falling from left to right. And constant means it's going straight across from left to right. So remember, you're reading the graph like you would read a textbook. You're reading it from the left side to the right side. So when I'm looking at this function, I start all the way on the left side, and I look at how it is going down from left to right. So this is actually a decreasing interval. So that function is decreasing from all the way from negative infinity, because it continues to go on the left side forever. So from negative infinity all the way to what x value? And this is where it kind of changes directions. This is where it stops decreasing and starts being constant. So the interval in which that function is decreasing is from negative infinity all the way to this x value where it changes. And it changes at negative 3 here. So at negative 3, it stops decreasing. So from negative infinity to negative 3, it's decreasing. From negative 3, it's constant all the way to positive 3 here. So the constant interval is from negative 3 to positive 3. And then it stops being constant, and then it starts to rise from left to right. So this rising is an increase. So it is increasing from positive 3 all the way to positive infinity. And why positive infinity? Because remember, when you're reading your x values from left to right, on the left side is negative infinity, all the way on the right side is positive infinity. So this interval will be increasing from 3 to positive infinity. Now, on the intervals for increasing, decreasing, and constant, you always want to only use parentheses, and that's only for increasing, decreasing, and constant. The only time you would use brackets or brackets and parentheses is when you're talking about domain and range. Okay, let's see if I can fit number 2 into this video as well. So what intervals is the function increasing, decreasing, constant on this one? Well, on the first one, again, I always want to start from the left and then work to the right. On the first one, on the furthest to the left, I have a little piece of the function, and I did write the ordered pairs just so it would make it easier for me to find it. You don't have to do that, but it is helpful if you do. So this one actually is negative 6, negative 1. I didn't write that one. All right, so remember, we're only using the x-axis. So we're not looking at how high up something goes. We only look how far from left to right. So I am starting all the way to the left side. And so negative 8 is the first x value on my function on the left side. So from negative 8 to negative 6, the function is constant. So I'm going to write constant from negative 8 to negative 6 because those are the x values, and that was the furthest to the left on my function. Now I'm going to go down here because this is the next piece of my function. And from negative 6 to negative 1, that is rising from left to right. So that is an increase. So the function is actually increasing from negative 6 to negative 1 from left to right. The next piece of my function that I have here starts at 0. So from 0 to 7, that function is decreasing. It's going down. So from 0, it's not 7, it's negative, yeah, it's 7, sorry. So 7, it's decreasing because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the last piece of my function that I have here is 7, negative 3, all the way to 8, 7. And that function is going up from left to right. It almost is very steep, almost like vertical, but it can't be vertical if it's a function. So it is an increase from left to right, And so I have from 7 to 8. Remember, you only want to use the x values. So 7 to 8 is an increase from left to right. So if you have any problems with increasing, decreasing constant, let me know.